Thank you. So, all right, again, very good morning. I already have mentioned couple of things that we are going to do today, and just for the sake of recording, I am not going to. I don't think I will repeat that. It's been almost 2 minutes I have been talking, but let's start one by one, and you guys will understand what we are going to do today in today's class. Um, Let me share my screen. And again, I hope everybody is aware of ground rules as well. You have any questions, please put those in the chat box. In every couple of in every 5-10 minutes, I will be there answering it. I will ask you to self-study, go through just brainstorm what we have discussed and stuff and all. If you don't have a question, just listen to what others have, but stay there, be attentive. I understand many of you are busy with their they probably are getting ready for the offices, but still. ठीक है, चलो. Couple of more people have joined, and we are officially starting the second lecture. And here I go. All right. So practically it is the second lecture, but theoretically I am on day 1 because first lecture was just about the introduction part, right? So welcome everyone. Welcome to Power BI 101 from Basics to Corporate Insights. We are on day 1 and we are going to understand entirely new topics for many of you. For some of you, you probably know about all of these things. So wherever you think you have a better idea of any one of this topic, feel free to share about it in the chat box. All right, it's like an open forum. If you know something, you have worked on something which is mentioned in this list, feel free to share it. We are just here to share our knowledge, right? So today's topics includes business intelligence and the data fundamentals. So what is data? First of all, I remember many of you have come to me personally and they shared they are very clueless about this industry at the moment, but they are very willing to go and very willing to transition into it. And so that's why I have felt like understanding of data and what types of it, how to handle those is very mandatory going forward. Then what are those types? What is this overall data analysis process? What exactly happens when we say data analysis is what I'm doing? And then finally, there is a business intelligence. Okay. But before that, as I have again said, the time is for the Kahoot. And the recordings are on as well. So what is data? The very first question, there are people who are not from the data background. They never have worked in the data analysis or in the corporate at all. So for you, what do you think? What is your understanding of data? One thing that I want to tell you before full-fledged starting the session, this session and the next session is mostly going to be a theoretical. We want to have all the fundamentals clear and everybody aligned. So that's why I'm sorry, like if it is getting bored at certain point, but 1 घंटे के बाद है, so 1.5 hours की बात है, तो just bear with me. All right, my very first question, what is data? What is your understanding of data? You can send it in the chat box. If you want to talk, if you want to share something of your own idea, like raise your hand, I will ask you to talk. Yeah, you can put it in the chat as well. But I need participation. Very simple question. And even after 4 years of my experience, when I joined my team, my manager asked me this question: what is your idea of data? I don't know why she wanted to ask, but she asked like in a very first meeting when I met at that time. So don't think like even if you have a really good experience, it will not be asked. Kuch bhi pucha like no, anybody can talk anytime. It is a kind of information. Okay? Collection of information, records, data is information which is organized or unorganized. Okay? So data is everywhere. You know, like there is a statement somebody has said ki data is a new oil. You are going to keep seeing the data every place wherever you go. So what is this data that we are going to keep seeing? So for example, if you have a smartwatch, whatever the data is collected on your hand, it is storing at some place. That is the data. It is not always going to be in a rows and columns. It can be anything. It can be text, it can be images, it can be metadata, it can be videos, right? Audio files, everything that I have said that can be considered as a data only. Okay. Vasu has said that data is a collective information which is useful to run the business. Perfect, right? For example, you have a phones. even when you create the image, even when you like capture the image and something information like more information or properties section about that image also represent the same idea, like there is some data about that image, correct? That is a metadata basically, but it is all about data. Whatever image you have in your phone, if there is a book in front of you, if there are notes that you make, that is all data. So if you think about it, like if you just sit at one place and if you just look at 360 degrees at your place, you will find like n number of locations in number of places from where the like internet is gathering the data from, or probably the places where you can see the data from, right? So what different types of data that is, and what is this data basically? So data again, that refers to like how the data is collected, collected from different places, how they get stored at different places, analyzed, and after getting from those locations, we have collected, gathered, stored at one place, how we can find out the insights from it and can make the proper decisions. For example, there is some Apple Watch, I believe, and I have heard about this. I have read about this news that through that Apple Watch, a doctor of that particular person can get notification if the like heart rate is increasing or something. Like there is a feature as well in that Apple, in such phones, in certain phones, certain watches, basically smart watches. So what happens exactly? Whatever the data whatever the live data that watch is finding from our body, it is getting transferred to that particular doctor. And if it is at certain threshold, if it has reached to certain threshold, doctor will get notification ki yes, there is something happening to that person, we have to do something for that, correct? So this data is getting stored at some place, it is getting analyzed from somebody, and it is because of those somebody is making some decisions to perform something else, correct? We read the newspaper, we are reading the headlines, because of those headlines we decide like how is our mood going to be for today, what my topic of conversation is going to be for today, correct? Like this is what we always do whenever we see the data always has a purpose. Either it will be like for you, or it will be for something to shared for now or for in the future, correct? It can be in a various forms such as numbers, text, images, sound, everything. Okay. So you will find the data in the format of rows and columns. So if you have seen, like if you see the bank statements, if you see something with respect to, even if you see the receipts, you will see a organized structure where you will see the headings, you will see the names, and properly the data has been organized in front of you, right? So data is everywhere, basically. It can be in any form and shape. And which one out of this is we are going to use, that's what we will understand from the next slide. Okay. So data is a very easy concept, but still it is very important to understand, like it is not just rows and columns like that we are going to call it as a data, but it can be anything. Okay. And everything can get stored. Next, types of data. There are basically 3 different types of data. As you can see something on my screen, how do you find it? There is like number of rows, you can see there are columns, and there are certain stuff, right? This part, how do you find it when you are seeing this type of information on the screen? Is it visible? Okay, no. All right. So what type of a data do you see on the screen? Like I know it is an image at the moment, but if it was not an image, so where would you see it? Yes, Ritu.
Table.
Table, right. So a table in Excel file, and it has a rows, it has a columns. Chandrima says ki yes, it is a structured data. That is perfect. It is a structured data. Indeed, it is a structured data, and you will find it on Excel files, spreadsheet, Excel file, right? And in those files, you will see the number of rows, number of columns. Columns are this: purchase ID, last name, first name, birthdays, and all. So this entire column at the first row, this is your column headers, and values inside it, they are the values, like they are the sales inside those columns. So these are the rows and these are the columns. Mostly we are going to work on this data when we are doing the data analysis. Even if your data is coming from structure, unstructured, semi-structured, different location, but at the end when it gathers at centralized place, we will see something like this, and you have to work on the data like this. Okay. So this is a structured data. Okay. So structured data is highly organized, easily searchable, typically stored in a database. So if you see on the screen, data is highly organized. It says like structured data is highly organized. So you can see these are the rows, these are the columns. And if you want to search something about France, you can like directly search for it. You can search from the country column, like like what is available where. That's why it is structured. It is also have a typical place like from where we can gather it. So that is a database. We will see that concept in the next slides. Examples means like if you have a customer information gathered at one place, if you have overall financial records arranged at one place. These are the couple of examples when we talk about structured data. What are the other places that you might find structured data in your day-to-day life? Structured data we have established, it is mostly about your Excel file, CSV file, right? But where do you manage such type of things? I'm just asking the random examples, like like if anyone uses this type of structured data in their day-to-day life, what might be those locations? Any examples?
MongoDB database.
Not those. Is it not the day-to-day life? I'm asking about something which is which is around you. You manage it by yourself sometimes, something like that.
Our monthly expenses.
Yeah, monthly expenses, daily expenses, right, Chitra, right, Prachi. So I usually in the past I used to handle that in my Excel sheet. I used to give the date. I used to write down where I have spent it, what category it belonged to, how much I have sent, like how much I have like paid for that particular thing, and from like I used to also manage like what is the bank from where I have like paid that amount from, etc., etc. But that was how the structure thing was, right? So daily expenses, grocery list sometimes, like if you are putting it in your phone, right? Thanks, Sachin, grocery, bank statement. Bank statement can be also downloaded in the Excel or CSV file. So these are the structured data examples. Most of the time, structured data is what you are going to use. And with data analysis, this is the one data type that is like, this is the one type of a data structure that like data that you are going to use mostly when we will do the data analysis. Okay. Now, the second type of a data type, that is like type of data that is unstructured. It is entirely unstructured, and that includes everything. You find the feedbacks, you find the Twitter, like X platform that we call now, email, videos, audios, images, handwritten documents, which cannot be in the format of Excel or CSV. Those all things can considered as a unstructured data. As I have already mentioned, this can be images, customer reviews, feedbacks, videos, emails, tweets, and all. So, sorry. So unstructured data represents it lacks the particular format, because it can be anything. As I have said, ये कभी image हो सकता है, it can be audio sometimes, it can be handwritten like document sometimes. So it lacks a particular shape or size. It can be of any format, any structure basically. That's why it makes like it is very complex to analyze as well, because we never know from where, like who is going to use that particular data, that type of data basically. So examples that we can see: email, social media post, video, and images. You can never imagine using videos in the format of rows and columns, right? They have a particular structure, MP4, MP3, right? So we cannot directly use it at certain place. So where can we use that? Like, what do you think unstructured data is being used at what places? Any idea? It has started very recently, but there is a very well-known location where people use unstructured data widely nowadays. Can somebody guess? Try. What do you think the data like images, like handwritten document, tweets, emails, videos can be used? And which particular technology platform is using this? Streaming, sentimental analysis, NoSQL. Okay. I'm waiting for that particular like platform. Like people uses extensively, everywhere, and it collects the data, it gives you the answers. Perfect, Jayant. ChatGPT. So ChatGPT or any LLM platforms, they have a certain type of like they have the like that background design, like the way that platform works. It collects everything that you can give it to it. It can might be images. Like ChatGPT probably not have that features unless we have the paid version of it. But there are n number of multiple locations now. Like there are like AI platforms. You have to give the image to it. They will store in there some place. Like they will store the in their particular data collection location, and they will give us the refined like output, whatever we are looking for, whatever we are seeking for that answer, right? But for now, if you even think about ChatGPT, Gemini, then there is Copilot. You put the image and they will give you something fancy out of it, correct? You give some file for it to process, it will give you the final analysis from it. So this is one particular platform. They are using unstructured data very extensively. They don't have any discrimination about like unko rows and columns mein data chahiye. They cannot accept the data in image or something. There is no discrimination like that with the data in their platform. They can have anything, and that's the like for me, I feel that that is the scariest part, because then there will be nothing that cannot be analyzed at the end. Like there will be no use of us at the certain time. But still, this is something very exciting, and I'm actually looking forward to that time, like when we will be like, there is nothing that will remain at the end. Like you can see, you can just move around, you can do the live videos, live images, and everything get analyzed in front of you, right? But that is your unstructured data, where which we have no where we don't have a shape, we don't have a structure, where we don't have a format. Okay. And finally, there is a third type of a data type, which is called as unstructured. Unstructured is having a very specific type of a data formats. If you have heard about JSON, XML, this type of a data languages, so this is your, that type of the data types are your semi-structured. Semi-structure means they are not at, they might not entirely in the format of rows and columns, but they might not, like they are not entirely like images or videos also. Means if you see the data, you will understand what is being like telling you. So for example, if you see this code, okay, this particular code says there is a student list, student ID equal to 1, first name is Greg, last name is Dean, certificate is true. So we can at least understand it. When we are reading it, we can understand that for student ID number 1, this is the list of elements. Then there is also about scores and all the other stuff. So third type of a data type says semi-structured. It means it is neither the completely structured data, it is nor the complete unstructured data. It is in the middle. So semi-structured data is a mix of structured and unstructured. It does not conform to a rigid structure, but contains tags or markers to separate data elements. Okay. So this was like 3 different types of a data. Let me show you like examples. Where do you find what? At the moment, I have a MySQL, and I can show you, like, tell me like what that type of a data looks like. What is this data basically? My screen is shared. So this is my MySQL platform. I'm running this particular query, select star from cells. If you are a bit of aware about SQL, it's good, and you will understand like what is happening. Even if you are not aware about SQL, but still you can see this is particular tab which shows us how the data is looking. So what type of a data it will be? What type of a data it is? When you are seeing the data here, order date, order number, product key.
Structured.
Correct. It is a structured data. Why? Because it has a specific format. It has a particular size. There are number of columns. By the column wise, we can understand like which column represents what. There is like specific and like there is a very particular thing which is assigned for each column. It means like order date bola hai to dates hi dikhengi. If it says order number, so numbers will only be shown on that, right? Product key will be said as a product key only. So whatever the column header they have mentioned, we are supposed to expect the same thing from that particular column. So what do you think? What might be the pros of this particular structure, and what will be the cons? Pros means like what might be the advantage or good things about it, and cons means what might be the bad things about it. Like just think about it logically. Kya lag raha hai? Like if it could have asked you during the interview suddenly, because we don't prepare for the question like this. So it is all about your क्या बोलते हैं उसे, presence of mind. Like what do you think? What will you perceive at that moment? So what do you think? What will be your answer? What is your pros and cons with this?
Pros, I think one would be easy to analyze because we have everything at
Correct. And cons? What do you think?
once.
It's difficult to store everything in a rows and column basis.
Mm,
There
store
could
to
be
ho
some
jayega because
information.
there is a database, and that is entirely used, like its purpose is only to store this structured data. You are like halfway there, but it is not entire answer.
I believe one of the con would be that it's too large the data set.
It is large, but that's why we have MySQL, SSMS kind of platforms. It is going to store all of it in that. So, all right, let me tell you. So the one of the cons that it says it has a very rigid structure. Okay. After a certain point, like after n number of rows, as already Sachin and Prachi has mentioned, even like it has a large data set factor. So after a certain time, you cannot analyze it entirely. And that's why then there is a like reporting tool that comes into the picture. But if you forget reporting tool, then handling that big of a data and that rigid data, which needs to be in that way only. If you see there is an order date and in between you started writing down Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, something like that, it will not make sense to it. It will just start showing the error, right? It has a very rigid structure. It cannot change. It has to have that element only what it is saying at the top, correct? So that is one of the cons. You have to have, like you have to maintain its properties, what it is asking us to have. Okay, so that is your example for structured data. Other examples you can also find through the Excel file, CSV file. Once we will start the Power BI practicals, that time there will be the Excel and MySQL files as well. So you will able to see. Okay, like able to see has been like that is those examples only. Those are that example only. Okay. Another example for suppose if I am thinking about in a JSON. So if you search about JSON files, I'm just searching for it and you can see the structure, the way JSON files has been written. So this particular part is an element, let's see. Okay, let me write it down. So JSON is one of the way like how data is stored. So JSON and XML, these platforms or these data type languages are used for API concepts. Okay. So for example, see, this is how this particular JSON file looks like. It is not entirely structured, but it can change. It doesn't have to be of the same type. Sometimes it is like glossary. Inside glossary, you will find the title, you will find different entry values, ID values, sort as, glossary term. Like you can understand it at least. Okay, it is not have a fixed structure. It can be as big as it can be, and everything is understandable if you try to read it. You don't have to write it at any place, but I'm asking you to read it and try to understand it what it says. JSON is your JavaScript object notation, and this type of a data is stored when we are talking about API. So I hope you remember, like I don't know if I have talked about it in front of you or not, but I have worked on a Zero API. So there is a Zero and Axolo kind of APIs in the market. So Zero is the platform which stores the data, whatever they have in their godowns, in their like vendor locations and stuff, supplier places. And they have all of these items that they store in different tables. So if you see the account, this is the URL from where you can take their data from, and you will find how the data looks like. So the actual data from their website is going to look like this. Okay, it used to look like this when I used to work on this type of like projects. So my data was in the format of this language, which is JSON. Okay, and from this particular link, there is a platform called as Postman. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of it, but there is a concept of Postman, which takes this API code, it converts and it comes like it takes it to the SQL server, like or any centralized location. The languages that needs to understand it, that is ASP.NET. ASP.NET. We don't have to learn that, but I'm just sharing it ki आगे जाके if you ever get to use this type of API concepts, so you should be aware of the at least key terms, like what can be used to solve this type of a cases. Okay. So this type of a data you will find at almost all the locations. Like if you want to see the data for suppose Facebook API. So all the websites, if you want to take the data from those websites, you will always find API concept related to that. Okay. So if I want to check for the, like this is a graph from Meta platforms only. So there are like multiple location, like mostly the social media platforms, they have the API concepts. Like if you want to take the data directly from them, so API concept is what they use. There is even from YouTube also, you can take the take it through API. I don't know if I can see. So if you want to take the data from YouTube, you can like explore it and check for the APIs that is available. One of my students from the past, like I talked with her yesterday only, and she has tried to use it through the API. So as I told you, there is a .NET that we have to use to gather this data. Good thing is, as a data analyst, we don't have to learn it. Like we don't have to use it by ourselves. It is supposed to be done by data engineers or ASP.NET developers. Their task is this. When I used to work on this type of a data set, my team was having a data engineer and ASP.NET developer. They used to handle this part. My task, or to me, they only gave the server name, username, and password, like wherever they have collected all of this data. Okay. So what is the server name, username, password? I will talk about it later, but it is not very scary thing. It is just the credentials through which we can access the main information in the format of rows and columns. मतलब हमें at the end ऐसा data करके मिलेगा अपने पास. ठीक है? Like we will not have to use those APIs and concepts. We don't have to like convert those and stuff. I'm just sharing you because it can be asked. Not every time you are going to get SQL Server and Excel file, right? So in case if they will say like, because Xero and Accelo, these are the platforms. Let me write it down. Xero or Accelo, this type of platforms are used widely in foreign countries like Australia, New Zealand, and from them, like from those locations, my clients used to from. So those those countries use this Xero and Accelo extensively. So you should have a basic understanding of how this API concept works. In just in case they say ki ha, we use the API, so how will you transfer? How, like what should we do to generate the centralized data and stuff? Okay. So we have talked about structured data that is there on my screen. We talked about JSON file that is semi-structured data. You can see it everywhere, like JSON files, API that I have just showed you, and the all of places. And third is unstructured data. Whatever is happening right now, my screen, my face, the video, etc. So that is your unstructured data. It is gathered at some place, it is recorded at some place, and that's how it is an unstructured information. All right. And to have the better understanding or more understanding of it, so I have collected this data in today's folder. You will find out like what are the other differences, what are the different types of examples that you can say for this structure, unstructured, semi-structured data. And also I have shown you like what are the different ways to manage this unstructured or semi-structured data types. So agar API hai, to what are the different places? It is not for everyone, but in case anyone is aware of such concepts, feel free to read this particular document, like how these different platforms can be used, like what technologies can be used to handle the API or data ingestion or data lake, like what different platforms can be used for what. Okay. If you don't understand it, don't worry. It is just for the extra knowledge, like if you are already aware of this concept, only in that case. Okay. So don't worry if you don't know about it or don't understand it. All right. So that is the very first section for today's class. The first, like before I go for questionnaire. So this type data, what is data, and the types of data. These are the very first pointer that I wanted to share. You will also see the differences, structure, unstructured, and semi-structured on the same file. Whenever you will see Q&A like this, understand this page is important with respect to interview. So if you are a fresher, even with the mid-management level, this type of questions are very widely asked. Like if you are going for the overall data industry jobs. Okay. So having a basic understanding of it is important. So whenever, whichever the slide you will see ki Q&A aisa likha hai, it means they are the important parts of, like this can be important questions or interview questions. Okay. Chalo. So very first section is done. Very first topic for today is done, like data, types of data, and how we can see like where it is. Okay. Mostly we are going to work on structured data, but still you need to have understanding of other types as well. Any questions on these 2 or 3 topics so far? Or anyone having their own ideas or they have worked on it, feel free to share. Like this is couple of minutes where we can spare. So Joey, I have already shared these images. So if you join the classroom is on, like this is the platform, classroom thing. I can see there are this many people who have joined. Okay, Joey, you are here. So at this place, you will get all of this information. At the moment, I have not added it because once recording will be ready, I will add all of this information here. Okay. So images bhi aa jayenge, recordings will also be there, and all the other factors.
So where is this link?
So Vasu, this link is available in the final group. I will add that in the like in our main group also, like in group as in where you are at the moment. But I have yet to get the final list of people from Goro actually. So once I get it, I will merge both the groups, and there you will then you will able to get in that classroom. Okay, but for now I will add it. I will share it directly in the message. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Sagar has no questions. Sagar has no questions. Chandrima says, ki, yes, I have an interview question. How did you work with the data engineering team to get the data in forms of rows and tables? So as a data analyst, we don't have to directly work with them, but we have to tell them what is your requirement. So if you see the data is, for example, at the moment, we can see that was in the format of API, right? So so here Chandrima is having a question about how data engineering and data analyst team work hand in hand. Okay. So what usually happens as a data analyst or as a business analyst, basically, the business analyst person is supposed to be having an understanding of both the parties, like what client is asking from the developer team and what developer team is doing. So he is supposed to be the mediator, business analyst person. So business analyst knows like what client needs. So that person and the data analyst and other developer will talk like what exactly they are going to need from overall data that client is sharing. Then this team and the data engineer will discuss like the data is in this format, what exactly we have to take to the final location, that is the centralized place. And out of all the information, they will only select those particular pointers. Then data engineer team, in their team only, like they will use Python, they will use different languages. They might use like different Alteryx platforms as well. And they will collect all of this data at the end to the SQL server. What they do, how they do, as a data analyst, we don't have to know, but we can guide them ki, for the project or for as per the client's requirement, I only need this part of overall data, so that we don't have excessive data with us, only the required ones should be with us. So that's how analyst role and the engineering role can work together. And how it goes into the form of table and rows, it is again the task of ASP.NET developer or the data engineer part only. Okay, our only task is to guide them कि हमें क्या चाहिए exactly out of all this data. ठीक है. I hope Chandrima your question is answered. Sachin, no question. Jui, thank you. Vasu says business analyst and business intelligence analyst, they both are different. Perfect. Yeah, they are different. Business analyst, intelligence analyst, Power BI or Tableau developer. Actually, it is even more than that. Like business intelligence also needs to have the knowledge of SQL, Excel, and all the like different stuff inside business intelligence. And business analysts will not use any of the BI tools, right? They will not use it, but theoretically they need to have the understanding of everything the developer can do. Like one of my friend, she is in Accenture, and she is a business business analyst. And I actually work, like I have seen her talking, and I have seen her like when I was
Business analyst, they talk about the things. They
Mhm.
talk about the data. They don't use any of the tools. They don't present the
Right.
data to the
Correct.
user. The
Correct.
presenting the data is the responsibility of the BI analyst.
Correct. So that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
they both
Like
are
my friend
different.
is also in Accenture, and she's as a business analyst working, but she needs like to understand the client's requirement and to finalize the product. She needs to have an understanding of everything. I am talking about understanding. Theoretical understanding can also be okay, but she needs to have an understanding of all the products, all the technologies that is going to be used in that particular project. So it can be SQL Server, because business analyst has to give the timeline. Yes, in this 2 days or 3 months, we are going to finish your product. And okay, client, your requirement is that, and they will talk to, like analyst, business analyst will talk to the developer team, like, see, client has asked about this and I have given this timeline. Now your task is to give me the final product. Okay, so like he is the mediator, basically, like the as just same as the project manager and business developer, right? All right. Any other questions? Are we good to go for the next point? So give me thumbs up, guys, once you are ready. All right. If it is going a bit like 90-degree angle to you, like you are not getting anything of it, try to go through the recordings again, and whichever the point you don't understand at all, like make a note of it, and on probably on weekend session we can discuss about those topics. Okay, I can understand some of you are having more knowledge about certain topics, some of you might not have those knowledge, so just make a notes of those pointers and we will talk about it on weekend. Okay, like wherever you will have time. What is data analysis? At the end, whenever you will find the data in the format of rows and columns, making it in the format of reports and creating insights out of it. So data analysis is nothing but the finding a process of finding insights from an information. You will get the data or information and you can make analysis, you can make the insights out of it. That is all about data analysis process. So even with the Power BI, what we will do, we will collect the data at one place, that is Power BI. We will analyze it, we will visualize it, and we will try to find out the answers out of it. Okay. So that is going to be your overall data analysis process will happen, like even with the Power BI, like with the Power BI as well. Reports and dashboards are different. Indeed, they are both the pointers are different, but this one can also be like this can entirely created using report also. Like this is report only, or you can say ये report ही है, like you can also create the dashboard out of it, and dashboard look or structure is different with Power BI. I will show you. Like in next session, when we will do the Power BI, I will show you how my report is looking and how the dashboard is looking in Power BI. Okay, so the concept of report and dashboard with Power BI is different. So with other softwares, it might be same. There is no concept called report in them. But for Tableau, it is like dashboard. Mostly people call it as a dashboard. But yes, I got your point for reports and dashboard, but it is a report only. I will show you like how my report has been made. I will show you its actual Power BI report as well. Okay, I have the main file. All right, so now data analysis is what we have understood. And now we are talking about what different types of analysis that can be done. So when you get the data, we have understood the first pointer that what are the different types of data are there. Now we have to understand if you got that data with you, what different analysis that you can make with it. Okay. So there are like basic 4 different types of analysis that you can do. Analysis means what? You have something in front of you, like think about it in general life. You are standing on a road, on a pathway someplace. There is a like red light and green light, like when you are supposed to cross the road, basically. So if it is red light, you have the analysis in your mind what to be done, like what is that red light signifies. So red means I have to stop. This is the analysis process you did in your mind only. On the other hand, if it shows orange and then green, it means you have to be ready to walk and cross the path at that moment, right? So that understanding, that analysis happened inside your mind. And how that happened? Because you saw that indicators there in a like on a signal, basically. So if it showed you red, it means you have to stop. If it showed you green, it means you have to go. So if in real life you have unlimited, like on a daily basis, there will be like lakhs and millions of number of times you might have to make the analysis of the situation. You probably will see the bottle which is half empty or full empty, basically, and you have to stand and you have to go and fill that bottle, right? That's the analysis you did in your mind, and you have to make the judgment after that. There are like n number of things that you continuously keep doing it. what I have to talk next, what I have to show next, everything is analyzed and designed properly already. Correct. So this analysis with data, with structured data, they have the certain types. So those types represents descriptive data analysis, diagnostic analysis, predictive, and prescriptive. Out of these four, like very easy to understand, descriptive represents, as the word suggests, describe what has happened. If you have data, if you see something like this is my data in front of me, suppose. So in this data, what has happened? Like, why do I have this data basically? So what has happened with this data? That is the first of analysis you might have to do, which is a descriptive analysis. Second pointer says diagnostic analysis. If something has happened, you understood that part. Ki, okay, my sales growth were going very at the upward and the like upward direction, and suddenly in particular month it started going downwards and very rapidly. So why that thing happened? You need to find out the reason behind it, like why suddenly the number changed and that drastically. So you need to find out the reason behind it, and that is the why. So diagnostic analysis represents why. Diagnostic means we have to diagnose our diseases, right? We go to the doctor and we ask them to diagnose us. Why? Because we have to get healthy. So that why will be solved if it is a diagnostic analysis. Predictive analysis. What is likely to happen in future? First two pointers, as you can see, it is from the past. Like you got the historical data, you can see at this particular pointer here. You had the historical data and you had to make certain analysis, either what has happened in the format of what happened or in the format of why did it happen. And both of this analysis happens only with the past data, historical data. On the other hand, now the next two represents the future. Like in future, what will happen? Those things we have to like control or to analyze. So predictive analysis represents ki what is likely to happen in future. Like you have seen ki last 10 years, your sales growth is going in a certain way. And after like probably in next 6 months, how it is going to go. So on the basis of last 10 years of information, your analysis will predict what will happen in future for suppose like 6 months. It is something called as prediction, predictive analysis. And the fourth one says prescriptive analysis. Prescriptive means if something has happened, then how can we make like something, how can we make something happen basically? Like if your growth, like as I said, your sales growth is going downward in direction. And after certain point, you think like in future, it should not go to that point. You want to make it at the higher position. So what should you do to make that particular possibility happen? That is your prescriptive. As a doctor gives us a prescription to get better in the future, right? They diagnose us first and they give the prescription so that we will be at the good point in future. Currently, we are not feeling good, right? Doctor will come to us, like we will go to the doctor, they will diagnose us, they will say like why these things happened. They will tell you like you probably have drank cold water, or you probably have got wet in the rain, something like that. They will give the reasons. Once you understood the reason, then they will give you the prescriptions, means what should you do, what should you eat, so that it will not be like that in near future. Correct. So try to understand this analysis in this perspective. And that same idea will be very helpful when we will be using the data. So in the data, your client is going to tell you like what your answer is supposed to be, like what is your focus is supposed to be with the data. Do you have to tell them like what has happened? Do you have to tell them like why that happened? Or do you have to tell the predictive or prescription analysis out of it? It is not you, like as per the overall data project management, it is not you who has to understand all of these things, like you have to answer it by yourself. It is the client has to tell you ki exactly what they want. हम सारे के सारे analysis नहीं करते बैठ सकते. They will tell you like what is the requirement. On that basis, you design, you analyze ki हाँ, this is what their focus is about, and you will like work accordingly. Okay. So as you can see in this picture, the first two pointers, descriptive and diagnostic, it depends on the past data. Like it depends on like all the data that you have. And foresight, it means you are supposed to predict for the future. That is predictive and the prescriptive. Okay. So you will find next 2 pages. I will share this slide after this lecture. You will get couple of more couple of more lines on those topic, like how you can explain this descriptive analysis diagnostic to anybody else. Okay, so these 2 slides, like feel free to read it after the class, but I hope you have understood the concept behind it. This is all, like analysis kis tarah se karna chahiye, only those pointers has been made on this page. And that is going to be very useful for us as well in the future when we will start making our reports. क्या बनाना है, that is where people get stuck. What you have to create, that's where people usually get stuck. So how to prepare yourself to create such design, like create such analysis, this particular slide might help you. You have to focus yourself with the type, like what do they exactly need, and after that you have to focus for the further analysis. Any suggestions, any ideas on this page, like you have seen it in the past, or any questions on it basically? That was the second important pointer that I wanted to tell you for today. And now we are remain with the third one, very short topic, and we will be good. I will share everything after the session in like through the links in your groups, like after 1 hour or so, जैसे recording भी ready हो जाती है वैसे. Okay, but I will share everything basically. Okay, yes, Ritu, you were saying something.
For predictive analysis, do we have any tools like forecasting or something? We
So
have a
you can
separate
do
tool?
forecasting through like Excel. You also have the option to do forecasting in Power BI. But the actual purpose, this type of analysis can be solved using data scientist methodology. Like data science is the role, or probably you can call it the part of the data industry, which focuses on these things. Do you remember recently kya hua tha? T20, I guess. India versus, I don't remember. I'm very bad with the recalling. But there was a match couple of weeks back on weekend. Right? India versus something where India won. So you probably South Africa, right? India versus
Yes.
South Africa, right? So you can see on that particular day that on Google, you could see there is a live prediction happening. At certain point, there was like 90% chance was there ki South Africa is going to win, but only 10% was chances given to India. But still, on the basis of certain numbers, on the basis of how the team was playing and all, the particular prediction kept changing, and at the end, India won, right? So that particular analysis was all about the prediction, like what is going to happen. And that prediction is one of the like forecast kind of thing, and that happens on the basis of whatever is happening live. And that is one of the example for predictive analysis basically. And prescriptive is also the part for the data science roles only. Like they will get the data. You probably have heard about the concept like sample population. Like they collect the data in that scope, and they like find out the reason, like what will happen and how we are going to make such things happen. And that's why they get paid more, because they are supposed to give the decisions कि ये तुम लोग ऐसा करो, so that you will reach to that particular place. ऐसे. Okay. So data science role
Marketing
focus
search
more.
is also included. Like they take the data source from the common platforms.
Right.
Then they do the descriptive analysis, right?
Common platforms or historical data, like current, like abhi, this is 9:03 a.m. So 9:03 and the past, everything, like whatever is before that particular time, particular moment, everything includes under this descriptive or diagnostic data analysis. All right. So
Okay.
everything can help. Chalo. So if are we good? Give me the thumbs ups. Let me know, like are you getting more confused about these topics, or getting a bit of an idea about it? What are your thoughts so far? All right, I can see the thumbs ups. If you don't get it, suppose still like go through the recordings once, and as I have already given you the idea what to be done, so accordingly we will talk about it in our weekdays, weekends. Yeah, indeed it is informative. That's why I said it is going to be a very theoretical lecture. Like I will only going to keep talk and talk instead of showing more things. Okay, and next lecture is also sort of going to be in that way, but it will be again like easy to understand. Final topic, business intelligence, because Power BI is a part of business intelligence. And if you understand this concept right now, it will be very easy for you to understand and adapt yourself with the Power BI. Why is that? Because the BI word in Power BI represents business intelligence only. then why people have given the name as Power BI when it is a reporting tool, right? अगर वो reporting tool है तो लोगों ने like why they didn't give the name like Tableau or ClickSense, which is entirely different. Why they have written BI in their name. So we will understand that answer because of this slide. And whatever we do in overall business intelligence process, usually the same process usually happens with the Power BI also. So let's understand how this business intelligence happens. And from the next lecture, we are going to start working with the Power BI. Okay. So business intelligence refers to the technologies, processes, and practices used to collect, integrate, analyze, and present business data. So basically, you have to collect the data, analyze and visualize it, and finally make the decisions out of it. That is the purpose of business intelligence. That is what business intelligence does. It refers to the technology, like they have the different technologies, processes, practices that needs to be followed. And in those processes, we are going to collect the data at one place. We are going to integrate it with something. We are going to analyze it with something. And finally, we are going to present it to the businesses. Okay. So what is this something word that I'm talking about right now? So in this chart, you can see there are like certain steps that they have went to get the final data-driven decision. First of all, they have collected it. Collection has been done from different platforms like CRMs, ERP, databases, files, APIs, etc. After collecting, after collecting the crucial data at one place, they are coming from the various locations. You can see the internal, external locations, and to get the final business output, we have to collect the data from different places as per the requirement. After collecting it from different data sources, अभी तक हमने data sources क्या देखे? What we have seen in the data sources, structured, semi-structured, unstructured locations. So it can come from any place. It might be JSON file some time, it might be Excel file, CSV file, it can be anything. And variety of different locations can come together and that's where we are collecting it. Okay, so collection is the first process. Then we have to integrate it at one location again. So integrate means we are collecting and combining all of it at one place, which is the process called as ETL. It means we are combining and transforming the collected data through the ETL process to ensure the cleanliness and consistency of it. So obviously, you are getting it from 4 or 5 different places. Obviously, like data is not going to be very clean as you need. And that's why ETL process, that is the integration part of it, the ETL process is going to help us to clean that particular data. एक जगह पे gather तो हो चुका है, but उसको हमें अभी clean करवाना है. Okay. And that cleanliness happens through the ETL process. Collection के लिए we got the sources like ERP, CRMs, databases, etc. What is the example for ETL? Anybody? ETL के लिए, like I have talked about it on Saturday. Yeah.
Medallion. Informatica.
Correct. Informatica, ODI, Alteryx, example, etc., etc., etc. So this ETL processes, this ETL technologies gathers all the data at one place and they helps us cleaning it. Okay. After that clean data, there is the one staging location, the final location, which is the structured place like data warehouse. Data warehouse means SSMS, SQL Server Management Systems, या फिर MySQL. So these are the platforms where you can collect all of your data at one place, where you are storing the structured and clean data that can be used further. मतलब हमारा जो भी 10 जगह से आया हुआ data है, we have collected it, cleaned it, and now we have kept it at one good place to be used further, right? Next, after collecting it at one place, we are started to doing the analysis. Analysis happens through the reporting tools, where we can also do the analysis as well as visualization of those data. Because we have collected it, we have cleaned it, we have collected it again and stored at the good place. And finally, we have started analyzing and visualizing the process. Once that is done, the next process says the distribution of it, which means sharing your report with the businesses or the clients or the stakeholders. They will understand it through the form of reports, dashboards, or any embedded platforms. And finally, they will react on it. React means they are going to make the data-driven decisions from it. Okay, they will make the strategic data-driven decision because of your report. That report got formed because you have visualized and analyzed it. you could do the analysis and visualization because you have the structured and clean data. That structured and clean data got at one place because of your ETL process, and ETL process we have to do because of the collection of the data from different locations. This is the overall process of business intelligence. Each of this process requires you to have a knowledge of certain softwares. Collection, you have to have the understanding of different connectors. Combining and transformation, for example, ETL is the example, like you have to have understanding of ETL softwares. Structure and cleaning data, you need to have the understanding of good data warehouse software, SQL servers, SSMS like MySQL and etc. Visualization process requires you to have the knowledge of reporting tools. Sharing, you need to have understanding of what are the different places, how to present it, how to communicate it. And finally, data-driven decision as well. After the critical thinking, you have to have the decision-making ability as well. हम जाके दे नहीं सकते. What was your idea behind it? That is also very important when you are sharing it in front of the client. Okay. So all of this process that I have just talked in front of you for business intelligence, the same idea you are going to see it in a mini form in Power BI. And that's why the word Power BI has been I guess that's why Power BI has been named, because everything that we are doing in business intelligence process, where we need different technologies to do all of that, Power BI could do it at one place. There will be a couple of other software that we will need definitely, but maximum things, if you think about it, at the end, jab all of our sessions will be done, and at the end, if you think about the overall business intelligence process and what we did during the Power BI learning, you will find like lots of similarity, like almost 80-90% similarities you are going to find. Okay. That is the last topic for the day. And I'm open for the questions again. That is it for you guys. If you have the questions, I'm open for it. We will start downloading Power BI in the next session. We will start understanding overall products from the next session. And feel free to talk about your questions. Okay. All right. That is it from my side. I'm just closing it. Yeah. Any questions? Done. So Power BI will do the ETL process. Yes, Power BI will do the ETL process. And that's why Power BI is that powerful, because on the other hand, if you see the Tableau, in Tableau, you will not find that powerful ETL process that we have in Power BI. For Tableau, you have to learn Alteryx, Informatica, the different softwares. In my very first company, they taught me Informatica first. After that, they started teaching me Tableau, because they said that is the thing you need to have understanding of at primarily, and then only you will able to take that data in a Tableau and work forward. So Power BI में भी ETL process करने के लिए, like we have the capability that can happen, that we can do for the ETL, जो Alteryx में कर सकते. That is one of the feedback I have seen from my past students. Like they have said, once they did the Power BI and once they did that ETL form of Power BI in the session, after that the Alteryx software was very easy for them. If you know Power BI and the ETL part of it, any other ETL tool will be very easy for you to learn. So yes, it is possible. Like we will learn it. We were going to take almost 5-6 lectures just to understand this whole ETL process. Yeah. Ritu says we can embed Power BI report in update version. We can embed Power BI report with like previously we used to update it, like embed it with unpaid version as well. Abhi recently I don't know, because there has been like lots of improvements in the data and everything, but embedding can be happen. We can do the embedding with the PowerPoint, with Microsoft Teams and stuff. So I will show you that as well. हमारा वो भी एक pointer रहेगा, like how you are going to embed Power BI, which link we are, from where we can take the link and where to put and how to integrate or how to open. So we will do that. Do you remember in first lecture, in demo lecture, I showed you this thing. कि मैंने एक Excel file and after that I opened one report file, understanding the audience वाली. So that was nothing but the link which we can use at other places to embed as well. So it will not happen in every other solution, but it will be there. Not poll के बाद मैंने Excel and एक Excel file दिखाई थी, and then I showed you this is how the report looks like. I have taken 10 minutes. I asked you कि कितना minute लगेगा अगर you do it on Excel file, right? But we will see the embedding part as well. We cannot use Power BI in MacBook. No, we cannot use Power BI in MacBook. There is one interview that I have heard from the developers of Power BI. They said if all the developers in Microsoft, if they focus only on one product to create Power BI for MacBook, they have to use 100% of their workforce only for like for that particular task, and it will minimum take 1 to 1.5 years to finish that item, because Power BI has that many functionalities to perform. So itna matlab they have put that many efforts on that software for the Windows. तो अगर MacBook तो अभी I have not seen their comment at any place कि they are planning for MacBook any time now. You can use the iPhone version, that is Power BI service, but it is not there for MacBook yet. Yep.
Rashika, this is Arun. I have
Yes.
one generic question which some freshers ask who are not used to the corporate environment.
Mhm.
So can you tell us, typically, so we have many roles in any organization, whether it's a business organization or an IT organization. For example, all of us watch YouTube, Udemy, Coursera, and other things, and we keep hearing about data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, uh, business analyst, and variety of other roles. I mean, you have a business stakeholder, you have various kind of stakeholders.
Right.
So my question is simple. On a day-to-day basis, let's say we are talking about somebody like Rashika in her day-to-day job. So, I mean, different companies do it different way, but what kind of roles does a typical data analyst have to interact with on a daily basis? Is it only with the internal team, or you are also helping the external team? So that concept is not there in many of the heads of people.
Right. So extensively with your colleagues who are also the Power BI developers mostly. So because you have to prepare the final developed product in the format of project. So you are extensively going to work with your colleagues to have yourself on same page, like what is his idea of creating the same task and what is my idea to do the same task. But every now and then, whenever your data is missing, whenever you need certain type of data or certain column, but it is not available in your data validation is not properly been made, so you will interact with your data engineer team, data warehouse database administrator team, who is managing all of this, who is monitoring all of this data coming from different places and coming to your system and all. So every now and then, whenever you find the mismatch, for example, my data needed to have updated updated data every night, like they used to have the schedule refresh for night, so that in morning we will get the updated data for the last day. But sometimes it used to be not update, like we didn't get the updated information. So at such points we had to go to them, we had to find the issue, like why it has not happened, and what is the reason behind it basically. So these things has happened. So
Arun,
database administrator as well, and data engineer, and in my case, the ASP.NET developer was also one of the person, because I had to see the
Arun,
APIs. Yeah.
can I share my thoughts,
Yeah, sure.
Arun?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so traditionally, when we have these tools before the dashboarding tools comes into picture after 2016 onwards. And before that, everything was a reporting tool. So when we had these reporting tool, when the cloud things are not popular, and when the big data systems are not present, traditionally all the BA analyst is nothing but whoever developed the reports, and whatever the tool that could be, just using the SQL itself, you can generate the data, and you can publish the data in Excel format. Or if you are using any reporting tool like Cognos, Business Objects, MicroStrategy, in those days they used to, when an end user asks you about some data in the form of report or something, whenever to present the data, they need to interact with the DBAs, because most of those data are in the traditional RDBMS, or sometimes the ETL developers, because those are the people who actually bring the data and store it in the data warehouse or data mart. But
Got it.
when these cloud system came up and big data came up, and So those requirements changed. Now the data engineer, like an application hosting on cloud environment, instead of just one traditional RDBMS, now data coming in various formats and from various sources also, like she mentioned, JSON files, XML, blah, blah, blah. So
Got you.
these data
Yeah.
engineers working with the data analyst in this, right now, these data analysts become, they're using the modern tools like Power BI, Tableau, and whatever it is.
Got you. So
So
thank you
these
for that.
people,
Yeah. Thank you for the insight from Rashika as well as Basu. I deliberately asked this question because in the past batches, some freshers have asked this, and interaction is the best way to learn from each other. The only other I know, we are in a hurry now, so many of the people have to go to office work. So I'll ask one more generic question, which comes up in interviews from the point of view of learning. The question is, on a typical day for a typical data analyst in any company, and different companies, like I already said, different companies work differently. So Rashika, would you be kind enough, or Vasu, you can also say, in a typical day, am I, if I've joined, let's say, XYZ company, and let's say I've been working there for 6 months or 1 year or whatever, am I given multiple projects to handle, or I'm working dedicated with a small team on one project only? And how much is how much is a typical duration of a project? So there are two questions. Could you answer question A and question B?
depending entirely on the client and a project size and everything, it need not to be called as a project. It's all the business, because
I think the needs of the project. Based upon that, we divide
when
the
it
team.
comes
Rashika, did you want to? Rashika, did you?
BI
Yeah,
thing,
go
we
ahead.
don't need to call it as a project
Got you.
because it's an
Absolutely.
ongoing thing. Project is just where there is an end date when you there is a
Absolutely. So you
requirement
could
and
also run it like a service and not ongoing service and not a project, is what you're trying to say. That is a good input, Vasu.
that is the
Rashika, did you
BI
have any other? Rashika, did you have any fine observation about this?
With my experience, I have handled multiple projects at the same time. It also depends on how many like clients has been introduced. So again, as Vasu has mentioned, it depends on how many people, like how like what is the strength and what is the size of that project is. So with my team, there was like one client, and he used to have multiple clients under him. So there were like multiple projects at the same time. They had to have deadlines with. So I couldn't just focus on one project. We, as a team, as a colleague, as a team members, we used to discuss like who is going to focus on what. But still, at the end of the day, if somebody is facing issues, I have to jump to the other project. I have to
Got
come
you.
to my project, and so on.
And all
And
these projects must have had some dependencies or some interaction with the other teams, right?
right, yeah.
Yeah.
because
Thank you.
Rishika is working on a service-based company where they have multiple clients having multiple projects.
That's a very good point, Vasu, that a service-based company may have treat it like an ongoing service, and you can have multiple projects. So I loved the answer provided by Rashika and Vasu, and this is the kind of interaction we love in our classes. Thank you so much, Rashika. Thank you, Vasu, and I believe over to Rashika to wrap up the class.
Thank you. Thank you, Vasu, for your inputs as well. And thank you, Arun, for asking those questions. I hope everybody has got a bit of idea about like how usually the projects happens. This type of conversation will keep happening every now and then. So always, like, don't miss anything that we discuss in the class. If there is any other particular question you also want to ask, feel free to put that in the group, or you can send it to me in person as well. I will include those topics during our session in future. All right, so that is it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for joining and staying till the end. And iPhone 67, please change your name. I know this is an amazing session, but please change your name. Next time, I won't be able to include you if you don't have the name, proper name, and I won't be able to call you. Right, so.
And Rishika, I want to mention one thing just at the beginning. See, when I say something, it doesn't mean I know more than you, because
No, of
I
course,
joined your class means I still don't know a few things which I want to learn from you. But I am just sharing whatever the my comments are based on whatever the experience I have.
Yeah, that's very humble
Absolutely.
of you to say,
We
Vasu. Yeah, you're very senior to me, and I'm also like honored to
It's
learn
not
from
like
you.
that.
Yes.
See, I joined your class means I want to learn from you. So
Yes.
Vasu, we do understand your good heart, and every once in a while, Rashika has been encouraging people in the past. They were from biotech background, pharmacy background, healthcare background, or we have some very senior people in our group as well. But of course, we are here to learn from each other. We are not here to for ego purpose or anything else. So Rashika herself would encourage every once in a while to she will seek input and she will encourage interaction. But thank you
and
for doing that, Vasu.
one last thing, Arun. So when we see the audience, like students or anyone in India, most of the people get the jobs in the service-based companies, Infosys, Wipro, blah 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 blah. In US,
Correct.
it's always with the end clients. So that is the
Mostly that's true. Yeah.
yeah. So the experience and those things are different.
Yeah, but I would have kudos for all of you if and I'm proud of being an Indian, and for all the fellow Indians, if we were not there, I think if all the Indians leave United States probably would stop functioning in IT. I mean, I'm saying this as a fun, but it could be, it might be as well, true.
We
So
shouldn't see in that way. We need to see because it's like that. That's why we are also benefiting from it.
correct.
And
So all these inputs are welcome, and since we can take like 2-3 minutes extra, but we have to also be careful while in the classes. While Rashika is teaching and delivering, we typically do not you know, uh, if the conversation goes back in a tangent, we have a joint responsibility to bring back the conversation to the topic of the class. So that's one thing that I keep in mind. That's one thing that everybody should keep in mind, I guess. With that, over to Rashika for wrapping up. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for wonderful conversation, guys. And let's end the session for today. Let's meet next Friday. This Friday. And I hope you have learned and enjoyed the day. If you have not understood, as I said, please make the points. We will talk about it on weekend classes, weekend doubt clearing. And that is it. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy. For Maharashtrian, this is a day for you to be having a fasting, I hope. So be on a power saving mode. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Rashika, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rashika.
Thank you, Prachi. Good night. Thank you, Vasu. Good night. Thank you. Ending the